Okay, so by now a lot of people are aware that there's something going on with Fortnite and Apple. Or maybe you know a little bit more, it's the company Epic Games and Apple, and Google's involved there as well. So in this video, I'm hoping to lay down the groundworks of, okay, what are the issues at stake and what is a rough timeline of what has happened so far? And, when might things get back to normal or at least reach some kind of a resolution? This is a very small YouTube channel that is really just getting started, and to increase my visibility, it'll help me out a lot if you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks. A lot of this really started getting attention in mid-June. Epic Games CEO started tweeting and interviewing a whole bunch of stuff about Apple's App Store policies. And specifically, he was critical of the fact that they're taking a 30% cut of any money transaction that's happening there at all. And Epic Games are the publisher. Tim Sweeney is the CEO of Epic Games, and they are the company who owns and creates Fortnite. And Fortnite rakes in lots of money. And I even saw an article saying that it's estimated that Apple's 30% cut of Fortnite money is $360 million. That's just Apple's cut. So you can see there's a lot of money involved in this. What Epic would like to do is to have their own app store or their own direct payments within their app that avoids the 30% Apple tax. I think they'd be willing to settle for maybe a smaller percentage, but what they'd really like is to be more open. There were some tweets where Sweeney explained that if you view the Apple, the iPhone or iPad, the iOS device, as a general computing device, it would be normal for it to be an open system where you could have the App Store and they could have their policies and take their cut. But there shouldn't be an exclusive nature to the App Store. This is also an issue with the Google Play Store, although less so because Android does allow some competing app stores, whereas Apple does not. Also, you can sideload some apps on Android, and this is not something that you can do as simply or easily on Apple devices. So where did this go? Again, Tim Sweeney, the CEO of Epic, wanted to be clear that he is not just out to improve his company's standing. He wants to improve all companies' standing with Apple. He doesn't want to make a private side deal, as some other people have, like Amazon, with Amazon Prime Instant Video getting some special treatment with how they are allowed to process things. In mid-August, Fortnite on its apps on iOS and on Android instituted a payment option that basically was avoid the Apple tax option. It was a lower price for exactly the same thing, and the only difference was that you paid Epic directly. And this was a direct violation of Apple's App Store policy, as well as a violation of the Google Play Store policies. So the app was immediately removed from both stores. And obviously, Epic Games were well aware that this was going to happen. So they had already prepared a 65-page document. You can look up the PDF if you'd like, which was a lawsuit filed against Apple, accusing them of monopolistic practices, unfair practices with their App Store, that type of thing. They filed a similar lawsuit against Google once Google also removed Fortnite from the App Store. That wasn't all. In addition to having the lawsuits already written and ready to go, they even had a video, which was a parody of a famous Apple commercial. So Apple had a commercial that was the 1984 ad, and you may or may not have seen this before. I mean, it's old these days, and I don't know how old you guys are watching this, but it was a very famous advertisement that Apple did, and they have so now Epic Games launches a parody of that where Apple plays the role of Big Brother in this 1984 themed advertisement. And a Fortnite character is the hero. So they're, I guess, trying to insinuate that Apple has become the monster that it used to be out to fight against, right? Apple's become too big. It's a monopoly. They are Big Brother now. They're the problem. And once again, Tim Sweeney is very careful to issue statements saying, I'll just read his tweet. At the most basic level, we're fighting for the freedom of people who bought smartphones to install apps from sources of their choosing. The freedom for creators of apps to distribute them as they choose, and the freedom of both groups to do business directly. So he's saying that he's fighting for everybody. This is not just for Epic Games. He wants there to be more freedom for people to do business how they want on the smartphone devices. He doesn't want them to be so locked down. So far, this was all revolving around the Fortnite app. But it escalated in late August when Apple threatened to remove Epic Games' developer account. And the reason why that's such a big deal is because Epic Games doesn't only make Fortnite. That's their biggest money-making game, but they also are the developers of the Unreal Engine, which is a video game creation engine that many games use. And if Epic Games is no longer allowed to develop that engine, then it could affect all sorts of other game developers who use Unreal Engine on iOS. So this would have really, really escalated things. So of course, Epic Games immediately sought legal action to prevent this. So a judge, responding to Epic's request to stop Apple from doing that, the judge did side with Epic that Apple can't stop them from developing other things like their Unreal Engine, but that this should be limited to the Fortnite app. Now, they didn't go as far as saying that the Fortnite app needed to be reinstated to the App Store. So they did allow Apple to continue removing Fortnite from the App Store. The next big development was on September 8th when Apple chose to countersue Epic for damages based on a breach of contract. And on September 9th, Apple threatened to remove the sign in with Apple option for Epic Games accounts. Now, I think that this is an incredibly stupid move for Apple. They're trying to bring the full weight of making an enemy of Apple as a company against Epic. But I think when they made this threat, they didn't fully think through the ramifications, because offering a service like sign in with Apple or sign in with Google, sign in with Facebook, when you're offering that to people, to your users, their trust they're placing there is with Apple or with Google or with Facebook. They're trusting that company to be dependable way for them to log into these third-party platforms, right? So, in my opinion, if Apple had removed the ability to sign into Epic Games with Apple, that doesn't hurt Epic Games. That hurts the credibility of the sign in with Apple feature. Now people would have to wonder, should I rely on that to sign into anything? Because is Apple going to just stop allowing that to work as soon as they have any sort of issues with any of the companies that I'm using this on, right? So I think that would have hurt Apple way more than it would have hurt Epic. And I think they really overstepped when they made that threat. And they realized it too, I believe, because the very next day they decided to back off on that, and they would not stop the sign-in with Apple from working on Epic Games accounts. So things were pretty quiet for a while. And then at the very end of September, I think September 28th, 29th, we had a little bit of news. So the judge for the case was looking into what type of trial they should have, whether it should be a jury trial or it should be a bench trial. So whether or not you'd have a jury looking into it or just convince the judge sort of a situation. And they end up deciding to go with the trial by the bench. And that's not what I think is such a big deal. What came out of this is a bit of a timeline. In the articles regarding that, they mentioned that the trial could be July 2021. That's a year from now, right? Almost a year from now. So that's really where we're at. There hasn't been a lot of further developments from where things stand right now. So I mean, there have been little news bits, but basically here's where we're at now. Fortnite is not on the App Store, but Epic Games can continue developing their other things like Unreal Engine. With Fortnite not being on the App Store, Epic Games are losing a big revenue stream. Remember, I said that Apple had pulled in as much as $360 million off of Fortnite on iOS, and that's just their 30% cut. Okay, I'm back. My daughter woke up. I'm back. Anyway, so I think we were getting to what are our takeaways from all of this. So, I mean, are Epic the good guys here? Is this, as some people have been saying, a case of a billion-dollar company fighting a trillion-dollar company over a percentage of fees? Or, you know, is Epic Games really trying to be the good guy here? Are they trying to take on a monopoly and do something that will benefit developers of apps on all the smartphone platforms? Again, what is Epic really pushing for here? There is some credence to the fact that they could have tried to get some kind of little sweetheart deal from Apple, but instead they're really trying to push against Apple's policies in general for everybody. They're trying to disrupt how the App Store works. I mean, think about PC gaming. So on PC, you can, I mean, a lot of people buy games off of Steam, right? That's the big one. And Steam takes a big percentage cut. I think it is around 30% from the sales on that platform. And Epic themselves have started their own competitor to Steam on PC. They have the Epic Game Store, and they take a percentage cut as well. I believe it's more like 15% on the Epic Game Store. So they're trying to compete with Steam in that regard. But the idea is that on the PC platform, you have your choice as a consumer of which store you'd like to buy from, and you have a choice as a developer of content on which store you will market your games on. All of them exclusive to one or the other due to different policies. That's your choice. So it seems like Epic Games really are fighting to make that the reality on smartphones, because their view is that smartphones are nowadays just a general computing device versus some really unique, different thing than just basically being a PC that fits in your pocket. I'd kind of like to be on Epic Games' side here. But I'm also incredibly cynical of any big company trying to come across as doing something selfless, right? Trying to be the good guy. That's generally not how multi-billion-dollar corporations work. Usually they are more out to make a profit. I mean, they're a publicly traded company. I believe is legally bound to try to make a good profit for the investors, right? Yeah, I don't know. And if Epic's trying to make a profit off of this, I'm honestly a little bit confused. I don't know if they thought the lawsuit would somehow be easier for them, or if they thought Apple would back down. I don't know why they would think either of those things. Apple is a is it multi-trillion now, right? $1 trillion company. They can fight endless legal battles far longer than any other company can from a cost perspective. And Fortnite, while it made Apple maybe $360 million, that's a drop in the bucket of Apple's overall revenue, and they stand to lose a lot more. They're getting 30% of everything off the App Store. If that gets taken away from them, they stand to lose a lot. So Apple is not going to back down on this. The App Store is their sweet little cash cow where they have to do literally nothing and just rake in a 30% cut, which is, I think, what Epic, again, is so upset about. Yeah, I'm really not sure, what to think here about is there a good guy in this? Kind of seems like Epic's trying to be the good guy, but again, that could just be a publicity stunt here. Maybe I'm missing something. You guys let me know in the comments, what's your take on all of this? And I mean, is Epic just going to lose a ton of money on all of this and not even win in the end? How do you guys think this is going to end? I mean, July 2021? That's a long way, if that's when the trial hits. And if that's just when the trial happens, I mean, who knows how long this will be till this is all resolved. That's a long time to go without making all that sweet Fortnite cash on iOS. So anyway, like I said, let me know in the comments how you guys feel about all this, and be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. I'm just getting started now, and that'll help me out a lot in the visibility on YouTube. Hope you guys have an excellent day.